and welcome to another 3-string cigar box guitar lesson. So we are still in alternate tunings here. So this is EBE, same as Jumpin' Jack Flash, which we just put out last week. So classic David Bowie track, Rebel Rebel. Really good one this. It's possibly a little bit easier than the Rolling Stones one. Really good riff and handful of chords in the middle for the pre-chorus and chorus. Dead repetitive, dead simple, you know, like all the best songs. So good one to learn. You know, if you've not been playing for so long, hopefully you'll get to grips with this quite easily. So let's tune up and we will get on with it. I'm just going to get rid of some of these effects just so you can hear it more clearly. Okay, so there's the low E. There's the middle D, B that is, and there's the high E. Okay, so as we were saying with the other songs where we've been playing in everything other than G, open G, it's the same relative tuning. It's still a power chord, it's just now an E power chord as opposed to a G power chord. So it's actually the equivalent of 3 frets lower, 3 what we call semitones lower than normal G tuning. So it means that all of the chords, scales, riffs, songs that you've already learnt, you can play in this tuning. Sounds really good, it's just a little bit deeper. So it's good for either playing, you know, with a different tone, because say with distortion you can get a slightly richer tone with lower pitch strings, or you can play songs in their original keys if you use different tunings. So this is in the correct key for Rebel Rebel, which is quite useful. So let's just get straight on with it. So we shall start with the riff. Okay, so like we said, this is, you know, somewhere close to beginner level, using a pick, using a flat pick. So there are some lessons available which are, you know, introducing this technique, so you can check those out. There's Sunshine You Love, but just as a quick reminder, you want to be using your index finger and your thumb. So this one's slightly see-through, and you want to have it sort of coming out the side of your thumb like that. Okay, so what we've got is we're starting off with a chord. Now we'll have a go at this chord. If it's a bit difficult, I'll show you an alternate thing to do. So this particular shape, first of all, we've got finger 1 on fret 2, and then finger 2 on fret 3, and then bit of a stretch, little finger, fret 5. Okay, now in DGD tuning, that was an F chord. In our EBE tuning, this is a D. Okay, so there's different ways you can hold this. It can feel a bit awkward. Now sometimes actually bringing your thumb up, particularly when you've got finger 1 at the bottom, it can be quite useful. So it just allows you to cradle the neck. It's a little bit more relaxed. Okay, so see how you get on with that to start with. And 1 strum on that. And then what we're doing is we're just playing a simple riff. So I'm going right up to the middle string at fret 5, and then it's fret 3 and then fret 2 on the middle string. But you can strum through, so you're actually playing the middle B and the high E on all of those. So the trick here is often when we're playing riffs, we can get away with being really nice and flat here with the fingers. You don't have to worry about, say, playing the middle string and catching the one below. But we do, in this instance, want to make sure that we don't catch the one below, so that we can leave it ringing through. So let's just make sure that we can see this properly. So I am bridging round like that, so I'm not catching the string underneath. Okay, so we've got chord 5, 3, 2, and then a couple of open. So this is like an open E chord basically. So we've got D, 5, sorry, this finger, and then 3, 2, couple of open E's. I'll go over this little muting thing in a minute, but then we've got the continuation of the riff. So after the couple of open E's, we can play low E, and then fret 2, so pull off, I'll cover that again as well, and then fret, so that's on the middle string, fret 2, pull off to the open string, and then fret 4 on the low E, and then open E again, open, low E. So a pull off, what's that? Well, we pluck the middle string in this case. I'm fretting fret 2 and I just flick off. It's like a pluck with your fretting hand. So pluck fret 2 and then effectively you pluck off to the open string. So there's an ever so slight twang. You kind of pull your finger away like that. Okay. See where my thumb is? It's staying behind. I want to try and keep my thumb and my index finger together at all times whenever possible. And then after that, we just play fret 4 and open. Okay, so we've got, back to the beginning, we've got D, and then fret 5 with the open, so that's middle string but with the open top E ringing, and then fret 3, using my third finger up here, first finger there, drop down with my first finger, couple of little mutes, I'll cover that, low E, pull off fret 2, we just covered that, and then fret 4 in the open, and that is it. And then you just go back to D and repeat it again. Okay. So what are those mutes? Well, the easiest way to mute open strings is to just block them off, sort of with your little finger, your pinky finger if you're American, side of your palm. So strum, strum, so there's a bit of a wrist rotation just after the strum. It like sort of punctuates the sound, because otherwise it can just be a big bit of a continuous sort of mush. So I'll just make sure we're still in focus. So we've got smooth sound, punctuate, and then open. So that's pick, pull off, pick. So strum through 2 strings, punctuate, and repeat. Alright, so let's try that from a different angle. So here's your D chord. Punctuate, pull off, repeat, punctuate, mute, and you just carry on like that. Now, if that's not too bad, if that's not too difficult, you can even do like a little slide into fret 5. So because I'm on this D chord here, I don't want to drop lower than that realistically, so it's just a little sort of side step, just sliding up from fret 4. So you fret 4 and immediately straight into fret 5 like that. Alright. The only other thing is right at the beginning, what he does is he does a quick down, up, down. Now if you did the Jumping Jack Flash song, that particular strumming technique featured quite heavily in that. He just does it as a little introduction. So nice whenever you strum in, nice sort of like loose wrist movement. So timing wise, what we've got is we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and. So those two chords, they are offbeats. So they're on the 4 and the 1 and. So 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the last few notes are all half beat notes, and 3 and 4 and. So in total you've just got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and just repeat it. And the strumming at the beginning, that is just leading you into and a 1, so and a 1 and so on. Okay. Now, if you find that chord really difficult, you could just play these two notes. Okay, so you don't bother with your little finger. So you've got to make sure you don't hit this low E, but you can just play these two. So that's just fret 2 and fret 3. Just strum those two, and then the same deal, slide up. So that's the first time I've played the low E if I do that easy version. Low, low again. Okay. Okay, so there's the riff. Hopefully that's not too bad. So, you know, take your time with it. Make sure you can play it before moving on. Often, like single note riffs like this can be a little bit easier than, you know, playing sort of full chord shapes. So maybe make sure you get this down before you continue, and we'll look at the pre-chorus. Now, there is a free download available for the song, like a song chart, available on the website, either up there or down. So you can just follow the link. It's not tabbed, unfortunately, just because of like copyright purposes, but you can find the full song structure. I'm just covering the different sections here, so you can listen to the original track. It's on YouTube, and then you can follow the chart as well once we've covered everything. There's also, because we've got a few chords in this one, there's also like a PDF download for chords and scales, a whole bunch of them, fairly comprehensive in both EBE tuning and also the previous DAD, where we were looking at like Bob Dylan, Like a Rolling Stone and so on. So much appreciated if you consider downloading that. Really helps support the channel, and obviously very useful reference for yourselves as well. But let's continue, and we shall have a look at the pre-chorus. Right, the pre-chorus. So we have some chords. So fret 5. So we'll do the easy version first. Now, I explained a little bit about barring in the previous Jumping Jack Flash, and also again you can go back and check out Sunshine of Your Love, which covers it in a bit more detail. But it's all about like pinching, putting the pressure on from the mid portion of your finger, sort of thumb directly behind, so you're dispersing the weight across all of the strings. So fret 5 in this tuning is an A, so that's where we're starting for the pre-chorus, and then we're going to go for a D. Now I'll go right up here to start with, which is fret 10, still a bar, and then I'll go right down here to fret 7, which is a B, and then I'll just go for the open E. So just strum the open strings. So you got fret 5 for B, A, sorry, and then go up to D, fret 10, B, fret 7, and okay. So it's one bar for each chord. I'll cover that in a minute. So the rhythm here, we can go something like, now it's quite, you know, it's quite a rocky sounding song, so downstrokes work quite well here. So you can go down, 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 down. Rhythmically, that is 3, 4, it's 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. I'm just going to do the same thing for the first 3 chords. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. I'll try that a bit slower. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. And then when we get to the E, it's almost like a little bit of a build, so I can maybe go 1 and 2 and 3, just play a bunch of downstroke half beat notes, and then just hit the bass fret 3 note, and you can give it a little bend. 1, 2, 3. Now it's a really kind of lazy, sort of quite sleazy sounding slow bend. So the trick is don't go straight into the bend. Really take your time with it. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're back to the main riff after that. So putting this part in, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and, so that is coming in on the offbeat, on the 3 and. So we've got 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3. And then we're going back to the main riff. Now that's quite difficult to jump onto, so you can just lift off, just flick off. So it's a pull off basically. So you're jumping off early to be able to get back onto that D chord if you're playing that full D, that is. 1, 2, 3 and then we're back into the riff. Yeah. Let's just have a quick look at that from a different angle. So here's the chord, the A. So down, fret 10, D, fret 7 for B, E, 1, 2, 3, pull off, and then you're back to your main riff again. Okay. Now, if that's all right, you can try and play, because that's all power chords. So whenever you do a bar just across a fret, that is a power chord, like wherever you play it. Okay, so A, D, B, E. So that's the bass notes for those. But we can change some of them if we want. So I think that works pretty well for the A. So I'm going to keep that. I'm going to go back to D like that. So the same as the one we used in the riff in the verse. And then so that's instead of going up to fret 10. Instead of just going to fret 7 on its own, I can even add my little finger on fret 10. So that then becomes a B minor, because it gives it a particular character. It works quite nicely. And then instead of just playing the open strings for the E, I can actually go for fret 4, and so that gives me the sound of what you call an E major chord instead of a power chord. So I'm keeping the A power chord, I'm going for the D, I'm going for now B minor, and then E. But I'll still do that same bluesy bend at the end. Exactly the same strumming. So down, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3. And so on. Let's just do those chords one more time from this angle. So the new one, so 3, 4. So A, 5, straight D, B minor, E, 1, 2, 3. Okay. I just went back into the main riff there. Well, first of all, practice that, whichever version is easiest for you, and you know, make it. It's not a particularly fast song, but make it all slow to start with. Make sure you can play everything. But I went back into the riff, which is the verse, the intro. It's also the verse, and it's also the chorus. It's such a good riff. You just got to use it for pretty much everything. So that was the pre-chorus we just covered with those chords. But what he does is he just does the main riff another 3 times in the chorus, and then he just lands on D and lets it ring out. The band just pauses temporarily, drummer just stops. I think there might be some like sort of cymbal hits with the chords, and then it goes to E. And that bluesy bend was so good. He's putting that in again as well after the E chord. So it's basically 3 chorus riffs, and then D, let it ring for a whole bar, 4 beats, and then let E ring for 1, 2, 3. Again, that is coming in on the 3 and, so you probably want to count it so you get the same effect, and you can still do the same pull off to get you back into the riff, because we're straight back to the riff after the chorus. So the chorus is D, last one, then D, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then we're just back to the riff. So a little break, back in with verse 2 and so on. So let's just try that just one more time from this angle. So let's just try pre-chorus, chorus. Okay, so we'll start from here. Now I'm going to play these full chords, but be my guest, just play the power chords, but maybe try and play along. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So A to D to B or B minor to E, 2, 3, bends. Chorus now, main riff. Last one. Then D, 2, 3, 4, E, 2, 3. And then we're off again. Keeps going and going and going. Okay, so that's it. Hopefully that's not too bad. Just 3 sections in total. So you've got your riff, which is, you know, it's the song, isn't it? It's all about that riff. So once you can play that, you've just got to play a few chords for the pre-chorus, and then such a good riff straight back to it for the chorus. And then you've just got to figure out like in what order to put all of those in throughout the song. So I hope that was useful. We will be continuing with some alternate tunings, and we'll drop some more videos soon. But for now, thanks for watching, and we'll see you here again soon on Coda Guitar.